Ohio is known for its long list of cryptids, with creatures such as the Caden family originally discovered the Minerva monster in the late 1970s, when they followed the sound of their barking dogs to a garbage pit on their property. As they neared the pit, they discovered a huge fur-covered 7-foot-tall 300-pound beast looking at them. The monster visited the family's property so frequently that it was seen by numerous other friends and family members, and the sheriff was called in to investigate. 2 monsters were seen after the house was bombarded with rocks, while the family was inside during the creature's final visit at the property. Despite the fact that sightings in adjacent counties occurred, none were as comprehensive as the Caden families. The Grassman, also known as the Eastern Bigfoot, is said to be a 7-foot-tall, 300-pound creature that is said to look similar to a Bigfoot. It appears to be far more hostile than any other species of Sasquatch. Some say the Grassman and the Minerva monster are one and the same, while others say they are 2 different creatures. The Charles Mills Lake Monster is more well known in the area. Only one instance of this strange cryptid has been reported. Denny Patterson, Wayne Armstrong, and Michael Lane were jogging near the banks of Charles Mills Lake in March 1959, when they came across something that startled them. A 7-foot-tall, armless humanoid emerged from the lake. The monster had brilliant green eyes and gigantic webbed feet, according to the witnesses. Authorities inspected the area after the witnesses reported what they had seen, discovering footprints. Werewolves, notably the Dogman, look as towering gigantic layers of fur and muscle, similar to Bigfoot, but instead of Bigfoot-like traits, they are reported as having definite canine features, frequently with a tail, and walking on 2 feet or all 4s. One in particular is the Dogman of Defiance, Ohio. Local media in Defiance and Toledo covered the sightings and accompanying events in 1972. The sighting of the werewolf was reported 4 times. Check out our link below. But none are as strange as the Loveland Frog. The legend of the frog dates back hundreds of years. According to one version of the legend, in the 17th century, the native Twitwi people warned French explorers of a creature known as the Shawnahook. The Shawnahook was a river demon, who resembled a cross between a frog and a man, but lacked the nose and hair of a human. It was described as having black rough skin, that was wrinkled and slimy. The Shawnahook patrolled the riverbanks, chasing anybody who entered their region away. It was believed to be indestructible. For years, residents there have reported stories about strange animals in the area. Reports from more current times may be traced all the way back to the early 1920s. But the Loveland Frog's first modern encounter was observed in May of 1955. Driving alone at night in Loveland, Ohio, near the Branch Hill Bridge, a salesman named Robert Honeycutt reported he encountered 3 creatures, he described as humanoid frog-like creatures looming in the shadows of the road. They had a human-like look, but their skin was a peculiar greenish color. Their eyes and lips were big and resembled those of frogs. They were described as having wrinkles on their heads instead of hair. The creatures had an almond and alfalfa scent. The confused man claimed they were each wielding a sparking wand in their webbed hands, wildly whirling it above their frog-like heads. That was all he saw before driving furiously away. He reported the encounter to the local police chief. For the next 17 years, there were no further sightings of the Loveland Frog. Then Officer Ray Shockey of the Loveland Police Department was driving his patrol car on Riverside Drive between the Totes Boot Factory and the Little Miami River at 1 a.m. on March 3, 1972, when a strange animal darted across the road in front of his vehicle. He slammed on the brakes, then he slammed his hand on the steering wheel and watched. The creature looked at Shockey, now fully lit by his police car's headlights. The renowned Loveland Frog was captured in his car's headlights. Leathery skin, and sparkling eyes. It was crouching like a frog, Shockey said while reporting the encounter. Before he could do anything else, the creature jumped over the railing and into the river. He described it as being 4 to 5 feet tall, the size of a small human. 2 weeks later, Another police officer, Mark Matthews, gave a similar account to Shockey's, in which the creature was spotted on the road at night, and viewed from his patrol car. He initially mistook it for an animal on the side of the road, but he approached it with caution. Matthews was alarmed when the creature rose from its crouching position, and stood up on two legs. He shot his pistol at it, apparently injuring it. Then it quickly climbed over the barrier, and out of sight once more. Matthews then changed his account after widespread mocking of both him and Shockey. He claimed that all he saw was a huge reptile, which he assumed was someone's runaway pet iguana. Years later, in an interview online at skeptoid.com, he said, "It was and is no monster, it was not leathery or had wet matted fur. It was not 3 to 5 feet tall, it did not stand erect. The animal I saw was obviously some type of lizard that someone had as a pet, that either got too large for its aquarium, escaped by accident, or they simply got tired of it. It was less than 3 feet in length, ran across the road and was probably blinded by my headlights. It presented no aggressive action." Many believe he changed his story to prevent further ridicule. Others have said that in private, Matthews has claimed that it was real. On August 3, 2016, the Loveland Frogman's history took yet another twist. A night of fun turned into a horrific story of terror, according to a local Cincinnati TV station. The news anchor did a story, and talked about the terrifying event that two teenagers had recently undergone. Between Loveland Madeira Road and Lake Isabella, two Pokemon Go fans, Sam Jacobs and his girlfriend, had an encounter with a real-life creature. An enormous frog stood up, and moved on its hind legs near the lake, according to the witnesses. He said it was at least 4 foot tall. Local farmers are still said to see it every now and again. A lady swimming in the Ohio River in Evansville, Indiana, made a previous report. She stated she was assaulted by a reptile creature, which she and a stranger were able to repel. This sighting may or may not be linked to the Loveland Frog because of the area and the activity involved. So what is the Loveland Frog? There has been suspicion that the Loveland Frog is extraterrestrial in origin, due to the wands depicted in the account of the first encounter. Some say it may be a smaller version of the lizard man of Wayne, New Jersey, and the giant lizard of Milton, Kentucky, are two examples of unusually large reptiles, and reptile men described in various regions of the country. The lizard man phenomenon that overtook Bishopville, South Carolina in recent years, and was the most well-known successor to the Loveland Frog. See our link below. Some experts think it could be an iguana, which can grow to 5 to 6 feet long with a tail, and without a tail they could be 3 to 4 feet long. So what do you think of the Loveland Frog? Let us know in the comments below. And as always, please like and subscribe.